the eligibility criteria, the application process, and the relevant timeline. This is to tell you that while this session would briefly discuss about all types of Commonwealth awards, but we will mainly delve into the Commonwealth Masters Scholarship since the deadline for the same are already around the corner, which is, I guess, 17th of October. We will also conduct a separate session on Commonwealth essay writing. So state that, please remember that we will also hold the sessions for Commonwealth Shared and other respective scholarships separately in coming time. So my request would be that even if you're applying for Shared, Commonwealth PhD or whatsoever, my suggestion would be for you to still attend the session till the last, because A, the structure is very much similar, and B, that there is something for everyone here. So this is where we will start with today's session. So let us proceed with the workshop to have Pranjali Kureel with us, who is a graduate at University of Cambridge, where she pursued MPhil in Modern South Asian Studies. She is a recipient of prestigious Commonwealth Masters Scholarship. I will now hand over the session for Pranjali to lead.
Thank you so much for the introduction, and thank you so much for inviting me, and to all the participants who are here right now at this time. I'm really glad to take this session. I will just share my screen and have the PPT on so that I can facilitate the session better. I hope I'm audible. Can somebody just quickly tell me?
Yes, Pranjali.
All right. Thank you, Pranjali. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
All right. All right. So today I will be giving a brief overview on different types of Commonwealth scholarships. And in particular, I will be delving into the Commonwealth Master Scholarship that I was able to get in the year 2021. It's been 2 years, and I noticed that over the last 2 years, there have been a few changes in how things are going on with the nominations and everything. So I have taken into account those changes, and I'll be presenting them in front of you all today. I did my MPhil in Modern South Asian Studies from University of Cambridge, as I was introduced with. I also want to mention that I will be taking this session in English language. However, I can also fluently speak Hindi, which is my mother tongue. So if there is at any point any confusion or anything you want clarification on, please feel free to write it on the chat box, or you can also ask me questions regarding any clarifications later on after the session. So let me just begin with it. So first, I will talk about Commonwealth scholarships. This is a general context of where the scholarship is coming from, and it will help you in sort of getting an introduction to what you should keep in mind before making your application. First thing is, it's UK's primary scholarship scheme, and it is focused on supporting UK international development goals. UK has certain goals which are related to UN SDG goals that they want to be fulfilled in other countries, Commonwealth countries. So you have to keep this in mind while making your application, that how your studies, how your research will be contributing to these goals. I will be talking more about it in the further slides. This is funded by the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office. It supports future change makers and leaders. So you have to also sort of show in your application how your time in the UK, the 1-year masters, will contribute to you being a change maker in the future. How will it contribute to you bringing an impact as a leader in your country? So this is like an important criteria in the selection. This scholarship is fully funded scholarship, as a lot of you might be knowing. It covers the tuition fees and living allowance. You get a stipend every month, airfare, country to UK and from UK to your country at the end of it. You won't have to pay for visa application fee. You just have to check in the box that you are a Commonwealth Scholar, and then your visa fees is waived. You also receive a travel grant and a thesis grant during your study, travel grant if it's applicable, and you also get a warm clothing allowance at the beginning of your study. These are the different types of awards that CSC has. There are 5 types of Commonwealth scholarships available. First is Commonwealth Masters Scholarship. It is tenable at any UK university for 1-year master's degree. Then we have Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. So shared scholarship, unlike master scholarship, is not tenable at for all courses at all universities. There are select courses and selected partnered universities where Commonwealth Shared Scholarship can be availed. So you have to, can you please mute your mic? All right. Second, as I said, is Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, which unlike Commonwealth Masters is not tenable at all universities and all courses, just the select ones. Then Commonwealth also offers a PhD scholarship, but as of 2019, I think this has been discontinued in India. So we Indians don't have the benefit of applying for Commonwealth PhD scholarship anymore. There is also Commonwealth Split Site Scholarship, which is for people who are already pursuing a PhD in India. They can do 1 year or so in the UK in a university there. And then we also have Commonwealth Distance Learning Scholarship. It's like one of the lesser known ones. It's for masters itself, for people who want to do part-time masters from a UK university, but while being in India itself. I don't know much about that one. So if you are interested in knowing about it, you can reach out to me. I will let you know definitely. Commonwealth Masters Scholarship Overview. So this is the general information around the Master Scholarship. It is fully funded for 1 year, as I said, any university, any course except for the MBA course. Then this supports talented and motivated candidates who lack the financial means to afford an education in the UK. So one important thing to note here is the stress on talented and motivated, which also means that you already don't have to have a lot of prior experience in mobilizing or all of that, but you just need to show that you are capable of it, that you are motivated to drive change, and your application will be well considered. You should be a citizen of a Commonwealth country. You should have a passport of a Commonwealth country. I hope you all have Indian passports if you are planning to apply for the scholarship. Then another important thing to note is that the scholarship is awarded under 6 CSC developmental themes. I will talk about these themes in the next slide. You make your application under a particular theme, which you have to relate it with. Very important to note is that when you make a Commonwealth Master Scholarship, you have to make 2 applications. And this has to be kept in mind because a number of times what happens is that people mix up both the different deadlines and things don't go through because of that. So make sure to take into account the fact that you will have to apply first via the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission portal. And after that, you will make a scholarship application through Sakshat portal, which is Ministry of Education's portal, who is the nominating agency from India. This nominating agency nominates around 39 candidates. And then they haven't specified a particular number of people who will end up getting the scholarship, but it's around 50% who will be selected from that. Also, the whole process is online. You don't have to go anywhere, or you don't have to give interviews. You can just apply through online portals and upload your documents online. So these are the 6 developmental themes, and they play a crucial role when you make your scholarship application. First is theme 1, science and technology. Then we have theme related to health systems and capacity. Third, promoting global prosperity, global peace, security, governance. 5, strengthening resilience and response to crises. And theme 6, access, inclusion, and opportunity. So one thing that is there is that unlike a Commonwealth shared scholarship, where your courses are already listed under different themes, in master scholarship, what is there is that you get to argue how your course relates with any of these themes. So for example, my research proposal was on Ambedkar and Buddhism. So I placed it under the theme 6, access, inclusion, and opportunity, where I talked about how my research will contribute to dealing with the issues of social exclusion, and it will enhance access. So taking another example, if you have study goals related to, let's say, climate change, then you get to decide like which theme will be the best fit for you, how you can place your course under that theme, how you can provide more and more information regarding how your study experience, how your research will be able to make an impact under that particular theme. Also, these themes are related to United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We have 17 of those, and you can go through these goals. You can go through the targets and indicators that are listed under these Sustainable Development Goals, and you can make your application more specific by mentioning like these goals and how you will be able to contribute to those in your home country. Now I will talk a little bit about the eligibility criteria. So first is, as we talked about, you should be a citizen of a Commonwealth country. You should, and also like if you are applying this year, then you should be able to start your academic study in the UK before September, by September 2024. So if you're applying in October this year, then next September 2024, by that time you should have your degree with you, and they ask for at least upper second class honor standard, which in Indian context means that you should have a minimum of 60% in your graduation. Also, if you don't have 60% and you have between 50 to 59, then you should have a master's degree. Also, one thing is that I want to mention is that CSC says that they usually don't sponsor a second master's degree. But if you see that in the eligibility criteria, don't get disheartened if you already have a master's from your home country, because like I'm an example, I also had a master's from my home country when I applied for masters in the UK. And I know a lot of other people also who have already had a master's degree from home country when they applied for Commonwealth in the UK. It's just that you should be able to justify why you are doing the second master's. So during your application, don't put a lot of focus on it as well, but then sort of like justify why doing this master's degree in the UK will add to your understanding, and then how it will add to your future goals. So it's not a problem if you already have a master's from India. You should be unable to afford to study in the UK without the scholarship. One thing I will mention here is that you won't have to provide any evidence or any supporting documents for this, that you are not able to study abroad. There is just one column which you have to tick, and you should have all the documentation that is required by CSC. I will talk about the documents in the next slide. Apart from these criteria, there are two more things that Sakshat portal requires, which is the nominating agency Ministry of Education's portal. So Sakshat portal says that you should have been in India for at least the last 2 consecutive years if you want to apply for this scholarship. Uh, if you were outside just last year, then you will not be eligible. So at least like 2 consecutive years for this, you should have been in your home country. Then another important criteria by Sakshat portal is that you should have an offer letter before the deadline for this portal passes. So please make sure that you make your university applications as soon as possible, because for the nominating agency to nominate you, they will be needing a proper conditional offer letter from you. Now I'll go to the next slide, which is the documents that are required. So you are required to upload these documents in your application. First is a copy of a valid passport, which shows your citizenship. Then you have to submit your full transcripts with all your higher education qualifications. And most importantly, not most importantly, but importantly, you should have references in the eligibility criteria, in the documentation required on CSC website. It says you should have at least 2 references, but in the application, they have options of putting in 3 references, but at least 2 is absolutely mandatory. They should be in PDF format, and you are the one who uploaded the CSC portal. So it's not like a lot of university university applications where you give the email address and then they contact your referee. It's not like that. So make sure that you approach your referees in advance and get your references sorted out before the deadline goes off. Also, additionally, for Sakshat portal, as I said, you already need to have a university offer letter. If you have a pen right now, please note down these dates, which are very important, and please don't get like mixed up. So as I said, first application that you make is through Commonwealth Scholarship Commission's online application system, OAS, and this year it's open from 5th of September to 17th of October, and this deadline is approaching fast. So I will suggest you to please make sure that you have your documents in place as soon as you can. And after that, you will make your application in the Ministry of Education portal, which is Sakshat portal. It will be active from 25th of September this month, and it will be there open till 25th of November. So make sure that you have your offer letter before 25th of November if you are applying this year. This is a general overview of how the whole process goes. So first, CSC online application. And in this application, you will be required to first talk about your life, your educational background, your professional background. If there is any, it's not mandatory, of course. You can write about internships also. Then there are certain essays that you have to write. I will talk about that in the next slide. You also mention your choices of universities and courses, up to 3 you can write in this CSC online application form. Then you have to upload your transcripts. There is also an option to upload your degree certificate, but transcripts are mandatory. 3 references the online application system asks for, and also you have to compulsorily upload your passport. Then after this application, you go and make the Sakshat online application, which is on Ministry of Education. I will also put in links, or I'll share it with Pranjali later on to share with you all. So in the Sakshat online application form, You have to write essays, but then please note that you don't have to spend copy paste those. Take into account the essays as a criteria. So you don't have to spend time putting extra effort in essays in the Sakshat application form. Then you have to upload a university offer letter, which is very, very important. It also asks you to put references, names, and your passport. Then after that, the nominations come in. 39 students will be nominated. And after that, if you are selected by CSC, then you get the nomination of award. So by June, if you are selected by Commonwealth, then you will receive an email from your Commonwealth program officer, who will be your point of contact throughout your award. And then they will ask you to submit your unconditional offer letter and also a signed declaration form, and then you will be conferred with the award. And if there are any sort of pending documents, then those will also be addressed at that time. Now, the essays that come in during the application form, there is a brief overview of that. So first is about development impact, and that is very important because sort of your whole application you're doing is around these development impact. And there are 4 questions related to it. First is how your chosen developmental issue relates to global level. Then you have to write about national level and then local level. So you will be talking about how your study experience in the UK will be relevant to relevant at a global level, then national level, and then at local level, where you can talk about how, for example, you are doing your research on social exclusion. Then you can talk about how this research will be used by local grassroots organization to address the challenges that are there, or something along those lines. You can just like be creative with these questions, even if like at this point you haven't planned that much, but you can think, you can be free and think like beyond the ambits of whatever you have planned at this point, and write it in your application. And then you will also have to write about who are the intended beneficiaries, like your study goals in the future, how you plan, like how do you envision it benefiting, and who do you envision it benefiting from it. So keep in mind that here we are talking about sustainable development goals, and then you have to frame it in that manner, how your research will actually bring change in people's lives on the ground. So please make sure that you like sort of show that through your application. Then you will be asked to provide a study outline, which will talk about what you intend to gain from the course, and you will have to give a detailed overview. Here, I would suggest you to be like very specific. Uh, so you can talk about about why this course have you chosen and why in this university. So you can give names of specific professors who are working there, whose work is relevant to yours. Then you can also talk about certain resources or methods of research that you plan on gaining in that particular university under that particular department. So please go through the department website, and see like who are the people who are teaching there, what kind of work they are doing, and what kind of methodologies they are engaging with. Because when you mention those very specific things in your application, CSC will realize that okay, this person has done good research uh, around what they want to do. They will see that you are serious about it. So please be specific. Then you have to write about your career goals. And these are in like 3 parts. First is what are your goals during the award? what kind of things you plan on gaining, what kind of things you plan on doing while you are already in the ward or immediately after it. Then there are short-term goals within 5 years. What do you plan on doing? And long-term goals, which are like long-term goals in terms of distant future. So here, please like keep in mind that CSC wants you to come back to your country and make an impact here. So if your goals in your mind are that you want to do a PhD abroad after this directly and settle there, then have your own goals, but then don't write it like that in your application because that will go against you. You have to show them that you are studying in the UK to make an impact in your home country. So please write your goals accordingly. Don't say that I plan on settling in the UK. That's not great. That's not good. Uh, then you have to write a personal statement where you get a space to talk about how your personal circumstances are related to uh, your interests and your future goals. This is also a space where you get to talk about the barriers that you have faced during your education, during your life, and how you dealt with them, and how they link with what you want to do, and how they link with where uh, what you want to do in the future. Uh, you can talk about vulnerabilities. I know that a lot of us don't like to talk about that, but then this is a space where you get to sort of write about that, the structural barriers, and then also try to link them with uh, your goals, like create a story, sort of how uh, your personal life led you to you choosing this course, this research area, or whatever is relevant, and then how from there you will be you are envisioning a future uh, of impact. Then you also get to talk about in 500 words your voluntary and leadership experience, where you can talk about uh, whatever experience you have had till now while working or during your university level. You can bring in any here you can bring in like any sort of initiative, any sort of participation which was related to uh, whatever you want to do. And you need not have, very big credentials. You need not have a very big or very defined CV in that manner. If you don't, that's all right. Try to think about what all uh, initiatives or participation you have done in your life, be it at university level, be it at internship level. You can mention all those things. And as I mentioned earlier, CSC is not looking for people who are already big leaders. They are looking for people who are motivated and who have the capacity to do that. So show them that you have the capacity to do that, and based on that, try to form your essays. Now, this is the nomination criteria for Sakshat portal, which is, as I said, Ministry of Education's nomination agency portal. This is very important, and this is where the change has happened in the last 2 years. So during my time, the nominations criteria was a bit different, but what they have done now is that they have introduced a point system. So there are three criteria based on which you will be receiving, your application will be receiving points, and from there they will be choosing people who are being nominated. So first criteria is based on your decision to return to India. So if you are planning to if you have decided that you will return to India for at least 2 years after your masters, then you get 4 points. And if you haven't decided that, or if it's no, then 0 points. So make sure that you write that in your application and clarify it that you will be returning to India after the masters. Then the second criteria is that uh, is about the background, social background of the person. So if you are from a SC, ST, NCOBC, PWD or EWS category, then you will be receiving 4 points. For people who are female trans persons, they'll be receiving 2 points. And then the third criteria is based on the academic merit of the university. This is also very important. So please go on the QS rankings website and see like the universities that you are considering or the universities that you have applied to, what is the QS ranking. So if your university falls below falls in the top 10 QS ranked universities, then you get 4 points for it. 11 to 20, 2 points, and then 21 to 50 QS ranking, 1 point, and below 50, after 50, it's 0 points. So please make sure that you apply in high ranking universities, particularly in top 10 universities. So go through the list and see which other universities falling in that. This is an important criteria. This is CST selection criteria. So what we just saw, Sakshat portal, is the how Indian government nominates people, and after the 39 people are nominated, the final decision is taken at the CSC level. So after nomination, Indian government will not play a role in who gets the scholarship or not. CSC will decide that, and this selection criteria is based on these 3 particular themes. First is academic merit. This is where your academic results come into play and sort of matter. But then also keep in mind that it's not a very hard and fast or very like most primary indicator. They matter, but then also you also upload your transcripts and you also upload reference reports. So when you ask for references from your referees, make sure to tell them that they talk about your academic merit, and additionally they can also talk about whatever prizes or awards you have received, or what was your voluntary contribution, especially if your marks are like low. Then you can ask your referees to talk about how you compensated for that through other initiatives. And so second is about the quality of the study plans, where they judge uh, what you want to learn and how you relate it with the objectives. So be very specific about that. As you see, the second point here is that extent to which the proposed course and institution of study have been well researched. So you should have like very specific information. You can talk about professors, you can talk about specific archives if it's a historical thing that you want to do. You can talk about specific resources that you will be able to make use of during this time. Then developmental impact, as we talked about it, how your study research will relate to development in your country. So try to bridge that with SDGs, Sustainable Developmental Goals. Mention them, go through SDG goals, targets, indicators, try to like bring that in, but also you have limited space to give your answers, right? So also make sure that your voice is there, your voice is heard. Just like don't also make it very mechanic. Just like keep your voice there, keep your vision there, but do relate it with very specific things. And try to talk about the different skills that you will gain during your time in the UK, which you can come and apply in your country, in your region, to drive change. I know we are running out of time, so I'll just like give some very small tips in the end. First is always make a checklist, because for master scholarships, there are like multiple applications, multiple deadlines, multiple documents. because of which sometimes it gets quite confusing. So if like paste it on a wall, make a checklist, keep checking things off, keep your dates very clear, and do things as soon as you can. Like, don't leave things till the last minute, because sometimes what happens is that you might be missing of one document or like some information, and then because of that I have seen people not being able to make their applications on time. So be on time always. Keep a checklist with you. Keep the selection criteria in mind. As we have just talked about, you don't have to uh, you don't have to sort of like focus a lot on uh, writing the best essay answers. You have to like focus on the criteria, and as per that you have to modify things as per the selection criteria. You have to focus on things in a very structured way. Focus on how your experience and or research at the UK university will help you in make an impact at your home country, as we talked about that. Also apply in high ranking universities. It is very important because it's one of the very important nomination criteria. So try to have an offer letter from the top 10, one of the top 10 QS ranked universities. Link your essays with developmental themes and SDGs in your country. We talked about that as well. And then why this particular university and course? You have to justify why you are choosing this particular course and this particular university, and link those things with your previous experience and future goals. So you have to sort of like, as I said, create a story, like why, how this course relates to your past experience in terms of your own barriers or in terms of your own initiatives that you have taken, voluntary experience, etc., your educational background, then how that led to you choosing this course, and then how this will lead to your future goals. So like keep this sort of storyline in mind. And lastly, uh, always take opinion of someone else on your application. Don't just like do your application on your own and submit it. Please ask someone, preferably someone who has already done this application, to read your application and then give comments on it. I will also leave my email ID in the chat box. You can also like approach me with your application if you want me to read through it. Yeah, so that's all I had to say. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And if you have any questions, I will answer those from the chat box, or you can also unmute yourself and ask me.
Hi, Pranjali, Prasad here. So I have
Hi.
I have small question that to apply CSC with application letter, I need a reference letter also, or I can add application when I get selected to interview like Gemini.
No. During your application itself, like when you are making the online application, you have to upload reference letters from 3 people, and 2 are mandatory. And these can be your academic referees, like your professors, or if you have had some professional experience before, then your employer referee can be a person or a personal referee. But during the application process itself, you have to upload references.
Okay.
Yeah. Someone has asked this question: if we don't have offer letter from any partnered institution, we are not eligible to apply for scholarship. So for Commonwealth Master Scholarship, there is like no partnered institution as such. Any university in the UK is applicable. But when you make the application, the second application through Sakshat portal, which is Ministry of Education's portal, there it is very compulsory for you to apply to upload an offer letter. So as we saw, the deadline is in November for that. So before 25th of November, which is the deadline, you should have a offer letter with you to upload.
The reference letter must be towards the Commonwealth, or it can be like to whomsoever it may concern. How it should be structured?
Yeah, I mean, towards the Commonwealth, that's like not a problem, even if you are writing to whomsoever it is concerned, like, but then directed towards Commonwealth, and it should focus on, and also like, yeah, importantly, it should talk about your academic merit, and also like your you as a person who has been into voluntary experiences, who has volunteered, taken initiatives, etc. So when you approach your referee, make sure to sort of talk about both these things, like your academic merit as well as your voluntary experience, or you as a future change maker.
Like earlier also I applied for Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. That time I have taken the reference letters from my referee. So is it okay if I submit those again this year?
Yeah, it's all right, but then like, to see if like if there are any dates and everything, update those. You are uploading a PDF, so that's not a problem. But let your referees also know in case something happens. But then, yeah, it's all right.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Hello.
Hello, hi Pranali.
Yes, hi. While providing the reference letter, means that recommendation letters, do we need the letterhead on that letter of college, office?
Yeah. You will be required to put it on a letterhead. It could be like you can do it online also, like in the Word document, if the university or agency is able to send it to you online, that is also fine. But then it should be mentioning the name of the institution at top and everything.
For an example, when I was in college, my teacher who taught me at that time, that teacher was there. But after a few years, means 2 or 3 years after pandemic, now the teacher left that college. Okay, and currently that teacher is in different institute. So, of which institute we have to take the letterhead? Means where who is currently working, or the institute where I studied.
It will be best if it's from the institute where you studied, rather than institute you don't have a link with. And if you are working somewhere where you have an experience on, like, that is also fine. But like, don't submit a letterhead which you don't have any connection with. Which you mentioned first. I just read this question by Sheetal, and the answer to this is that yes, it is mandatory to provide passport and transcript, both. Are there any more questions from anyone?
Actually, I pursued my master's from IGNU, Open University. So is it necessary to mention that too in the application, or if it will be fine if I don't mention it?
Yeah, it will be fine if you don't mention it. Just make sure that during your graduation you had 60%. But then even if you are mentioning it, it's like it won't be a problem as such.
Okay.
Yeah. There is a hand raised. Huh. Hello.
Yeah, hi Pranjali, this is Sagar here, and there's a lot of background noise, so I'm sorry for that. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay. So my question here is like for LOR, I'm giving my like my two referees are academic, like the professors, and one is my professional referee, like the previous organization where I worked. Okay, but now that person has also left that organization. So like how on the letterhead, like how can the LOR be produced? attached to?
Perhaps you can ask someone else from the organization, or you can, or also like with CSC, it's also this thing that they allow you to submit a personal reference as well. So even if you are not able to get the letterhead, I mean, try to submit the reference anyhow. And one option also is that you can create like an online Word document, and on top of that only you can like mention uh, the name of the organization and then reference by this person. Also, I want to mention that even if in case someone does not have a professional referee and only academic references are there, that is also fine. For example, like in my case also, I did not have any professional experience when I applied for Commonwealth, so all the three of my referees were my professors from both my universities, and that was like totally fine as well.
Thank you, Pranjali.
Of it. So there is this question by Nand, which says, to what extent can we depend on our personal experiences when it comes to the personal statement? How is it, what should cover when writing it? Okay, so the word limit for this particular essay is 500 words, and make sure that you don't end up making your personal experiences like 50 to 75% of it. Don't do that. Like keep it at a 25% and always relate those personal experiences in how they contributed to you choosing this course, and how that will help you uh, select your future goals. So don't make your answer very personal experience heavy, but definitely the personal experiences should come in the beginning of it, and they hold a lot of value. So keep it at around 25 to 30%, I would say. Focus more on your goals and your course. Hi, I have 54% in bachelor and 75% master's camp October because many universities ask me. Okay, so as I said, for CSC application, if you have like they ask for 60% in your undergrad, but then if you don't have 60% and you have between 50 to 59% in your undergrad along with a master's, then you are more than eligible to apply. So there won't be any negative impact, Parimal, if you don't have 60% in your bachelor's, because you already have a master's and you have a really good grade in master's, so you are like really good to go. Manjeet is asking, I have done LLB after graduation. I'm now trying. Okay, so it's not mandatory for you to upload your masters if you have done your LLB and your grade is like 60%, then you are eligible for it. But if you do have your transcripts of masters as well, you can upload those till wherever you are. I have an unconditional offer from SOAS UK and a conditional offer from IDS UK. Can I apply for Commonwealth? Yes, of course, you can apply for Commonwealth. I mean, UK universities. So for Commonwealth Master Scholarship, any UK university is applicable. And the fact that you already have an offer letter, that's really great. So definitely go for it. The deadline is 17th October.
Hi, Pranali. Shilpi this side. I just wanted to ask that is it a very stringent criteria uh, for uh, being here in home country for like 2 consecutive years for Sakshat?
For the last 2 years, you have to be in the home country. Yeah, I mean, I think it is an important criteria. Okay, like were you like outside of the
So,
country in the last 2 years?
yes, I was, and I was there for a volunteership program. So I was working
Okay,
there.
then okay. I mean, then you can justify that. I don't think like that will be a very big problem.
Okay.
Also, I'm like writing my email address in the chat box, so I will confirm this with like some of the people, and then you can like reach out to me. I will try to answer
Okay.
that properly. Yeah,
Thank you, Pranjali.
not a problem. If there are any other questions, we can address that. Otherwise, like we have also reached time. So I have left my email ID in the chat box. If anyone has any queries, you can definitely like email me and we can address those queries. 1 second. Yeah. Oh, I'm not able to send the. I hope you can see the message now. I was not able to send it before. Hi, most of the university application sites are open now, but I am still confused that even if we apply before, would they give us an offer letter? Yeah, so Ashish, this is a thing, and it was also something that I faced during my time. So one thing that helped me was that I looked for courses in high ranking universities which have like lesser sort of competition, which are more specialized. So one reason for me to apply to modern South Asian studies was that it is one course that gives offer letters very quickly. So I received my offer letter like in a week because it's a very specialized course. So so if you are planning to apply this year itself and you are worried that you might not get an offer letter on time, then definitely like apply to your course of choice, but also see if there are any specialized courses that are relevant to you, that are that are a right fit, and you can apply in those courses like I did in modern South Asian studies, and they will give you an offer letter uh, early, so you will be able to apply. So that is like one trick that helped me. Okay, all right then. I have sent my email ID on the chat, and if there are any more questions, please feel free to contact. And one last thing I want to say is that, like, rather than focusing on writing the best answers, making the best application, like as much as that, focus on making the right application. So rather than best, focus on being the right, making the right application, which means like keep the criteria in mind, because sometimes like we write a lot of like perfect stuff, but then since we don't have the criteria in mind, it like does not work in our favor. So make sure you write about how you want to make impact in your country after coming back to India. Make sure you apply in high ranking universities. Make sure you have offer letter. So keep that in mind. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Pranjali, for an incredibly informative and insightful presentation and demonstration. We are truly grateful for
Thank
your
you,
knowledge with
Pranjali.
us. So thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. It was really nice sharing this with you all. Okay. Good
I think
night.
that's it for today.
Yeah.
We,
Yeah.
Other, you have anything to say before we wrap up the session, or we can wrap it up?
No, we can wrap it up.
Okay, then. Good night, everyone.